Hello, hello, friends. I am excited to be back with another video. Welcome to August's Our Mixed Media Moods. Thank you so much for sticking with us through the last month. All those fabulous projects and prizes and all that really fabulous stuff happening. There was so much inspiration. It was really just incredible. It was. Thank you so much for joining us. I had big plans for last month to do a ton of projects, and it didn't work out. And you know what? I'm sorry that I didn't come through for you for that, but I've had some really crazy busy sort of success happening lately with some other things, just business wise, and just some things I couldn't really turned down. So thank you so much for understanding where I'm coming from, and I'm still excited to be doing our mixed media moods. So this year, this is our second year. This is the first month in our second year, and Jen and I have some really insane things planned. So the first one is that we are going to be incorporating beautiful photographs and projects from our awesome friends that we've made through our mixed media moods. So this month we have joining us Mags, and she is such a delight. We're so glad to have gotten to know her a little bit better through our mixed media moods. And she provided I can't exactly remember, at least one, but maybe two of the photos that are in our mood board, and then Jen put together the rest of this deliciously oceany kind of like blast hurrah out on the lake or in the ocean mood board that we're using. So I started out by really drawing from the colors that the mood board has, and I used some of my paper for 7 Dot Studio from the, oh gosh, why can't I think of the name of that line? I'll get it. I'm so sorry. It's not that I don't remember all my lines. It's that I have so many of them. I'm trying to remember where that exact paper came from. Cotton Candy Dreams. That's where that one came from. Cotton Candy Dreams. And so that one had a very like teal and kind of like soft pink tone to it. And on the back of one of the teal papers was a gray. So when I collaged, I actually collaged with both sides of the paper. I used the teal stars and the gray that was on the background. And then that really dark oceany sort of teal paper that's happening, that is from a Gelli print from my last Gelli printing session. So I don't have much else to say for collage fodder, but you could always use whatever you have laying around. You know, some people even tear up old projects. How cool would that be if there's something you're not happy with or that maybe, you're not using? So I collaged all that stuff down, and I specifically collaged it down with Yoo-Hoo. And then I did a layer of gesso. I scraped some gesso across the surface, picking up the texture. And then I did some scribbling with Stabilo, and I activated it with water. Now I am sort of playing around with some masking tape. I specifically left an open area in the middle of that tag. And look at how big this tag is. Isn't this huge? This is from Ranger Inks, their Ink Essentials line. It's a manila colored tag. It's just huge, ginormous, and I'll get the measurements for that. But I specifically left the middle of that tag open, so I had sort of a little contrast. And then when I got to play with the masking tape, it was a really nice complement to that. Now I am drawing from that beautiful like sort of scale or wavy pattern that is in the mood board with those gorgeous teals and golds. I'm using a Dina Wakley paint here called Elephant. It's a really warm gray tone that I have totally fallen in love with, and I love using it. I am putting in my own scale pattern now. I'm just doing it in one corner. I'm not exactly sure where it's going to go from there, but I'm having fun sort of just playing with things. I did splatter a little bit of that gray around, and I'm going to make sure now to heat stuff, because as I'm looking at it, all of a sudden I have this idea that I want to play with gold foil. I want to foil inside those scallops, and I think it's going to be awesome. And I'm really nervous, and I've sort of tried to do some things like this before. You know, if I had one of those Zig two-way pens, which I have had in the past, I just don't know where it's at, this may have worked even a little bit better, but it still turns out pretty cool. I'm just using some gel medium here, but I'm kind of using the back of my paintbrush so that it's pretty thin. And I'm mimicking the shapes of those shells on the inside. And then I'm going to lay some gold foil. And this gold foil is not like super pristine because it's a piece that's left over from something else I was working on. So I made some shapes with that gel medium, and then I put my gold foil on. Then I put a piece of cardstock down and I burnished really well. And then I also heated it because I want the gel medium to be dry. Then I walked away. The gel medium has to be dry. Otherwise, when I pull up the gold foil, then it's going to pull up where the gel medium is still wet, and I didn't want that. So look at how cool that turns out. It's where I put the gel medium. It has like a really, really, really cool, shiny scallop shape to it, and it's also kind of grungy and distressed because gel medium, I didn't paint with it. I used the back of a paintbrush. So some of the areas are sort of missing. It's so cool, and it's so awesome. I'm so glad you got to see how cool it turned out. Now I'm using a white Sharpie paint pen, and this is one of my newfound loves in just the last few months, and I feel like I've probably used it on every project, but that's because it does exactly what I wanted to. It's a white paint pen that's water-based but permanent when it's dry, and I can use it to do to make marks, to doodle, to write, to draw, you know, to scribble, whatever I want. So I did some work with that, and then I went to my sewing machine with my free range. I have a free range sewing machine. It just runs around my yard with my free motion stitching foot, and I stitched along those scallops along the outside of the tag, and then I circled the hole at the top of the tag as well. Now, when I was working on this, I did have sort of in my mind that I was going to turn the tag the right way. However, at the end, I really love that I kept the tag linear. So in the end, I do just leave it as a linear sort of piece of abstract artwork, and it's very fun. I masked off some sort of open manila area, and I stamped one of my new stamps for Viva Las Vegas stamps there. And then I'm going to do a little bit of grungy stamping around some areas with a long row of numbers, which is also one of my new designs for Viva Las Vegas stamps. And I got out my Dina Wakley paint in turquoise because this color is just lovely directly out of the bottle, and I don't have to do anything to it. I lost some of those sort of lighter tones that I had from the paper because I added so many layers, and then I used that Stabilo. So I'm just bringing in some sort of thin washes of that turquoise color to add back some lightness. Now, it's not necessarily white that I'm looking to add. I just want a little bit of a lighter value and a little brightness. So that's what this turquoise does for this piece. And it's fun and it's beautiful. Now this little stack of whatever I had just laying on my desk, and it ends up being the perfect embellishment. I don't know where I got it, or I mean like what I had made it for in the past, but it's just a little stack of vintage book texts and some Sari ribbon that was stitched together. It's perfect. It's so ridiculously perfect right there in that spot. I did try it in a couple other spots, but it just seemed like it fit right in there. And it's beautiful. It has that same black stitching that I used before. The colors are really bringing together the masking tape and the openness of the vanilla. Wow. You can tell I haven't done this in a while. I kind of feel like a mess. Of the manila tag. And now I have out this really beautiful dark teal paint, and I'll get you the names of all the paint and the gold foil and everything like that in the description box below and in the supply list on the blog post. So keep your eye out for that. I did a little bit of mark making with it. I added a tiny bit of wash of it just around, knocked back a little bit more of that white in some areas, and that's it. This piece is done. So thank you so much for being here. Please stick with us. Jen and I have a lot of fun things planned for this year. Like we said, we're introducing guest designers. We'll have some really big name artists from around the industry. We're always glad to have you. Pop on over, see what Jen did for her post. Mags did a post too, a beautiful, beautiful assemblage piece. And you can click here to subscribe. You can check out other videos, and just let me know if you have any questions. I'm always glad to answer them. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.